Hey everyone, I'm doing a special edition of our YouTube podcast offering, and this one's not going to be gaming related, or at least we're not going to play a game. And I'm here with my wife Amy,
Hello.
and we're going to talk about BSer Con 4. We both participated in BSer Con 4. I ran 4 games.
And I played in all of them, plus one.
Yep, and Amy played in 5 games. That's what I wanted her to say, but she wasn't
Well,
not
yes.
quick to respond. But that's okay.
Well, I was just wondering if our viewers know what BSer Con is.
Well, that's why I have this up here. So
Yes.
this was the con. It was last weekend, January 17th to the 19th. And as we're recording this, tomorrow being a Friday after, and we wanted to record before it faded into memory. Here's all the information. The cool thing is it costs $5 to play for the whole weekend, and all the proceeds after expenses, of course, went to the Leukemia Society. So I thought that
Yes.
was pretty cool. This is BSer Con. These are the days it ran. And like I said, I ran 4 games. So I'm going to talk about those games. Amy's going to talk about the game that she played in. And since she was in all 4 of my games, she'll get a perspective, pros and cons, maybe, probably all cons, on how
No.
she felt about the games. So here we go. Here's the first game, and I ran all these on Roll20. Used if people wanted to, they could turn their camera on and video into Roll20, and I used Discord for voice. Not ideal. I prefer using Zoom for voice, but it was fine. We weren't recording anything anyway, so Discord was fine. We did have a lot of technical glitches through Discord from the user side, probably not the server side. I don't think people had to adjust their microphones and the like because they probably use another platform, but it is what it is. So I'm going to launch the game
Yes.
and show you what was all about. So this story, Exit 23, is a dark matter story using the 1999 Alternity version of the rule set. So Alternity Dark Matter 1999, there were several characters. Actually, it was a full table, 6 characters. Amy played this one, right? Donna Truitt.
Donna Truitt, yes. She used to be employed by the CIA, but then decided she would branch off on her own, but she kind of kept her connections still there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but basically, she didn't exactly go out in an outfit that was appropriate. She was in kind of a red dress. She just bought a new race car. But, her little side job is a little bit of espionage and thievery.
Right. And I'm showing here like there are only 2 adversaries, other than we can see like a wintry expanse here. And the premise was these characters were caught at this rest stop in a snowstorm, and weird stuff started happening. This is a quick start for the dark matter setting, uh, for using the Alternity rule set. And I thought it went really well. I'm not gonna, these are the characters, these are the bad guys, but one of them is obscured anyway. So this doesn't give a lot of spoilers away if you want to look it up and use it. I feel it's like available on the Alternity website, but I'm not sure. I think I got it somewhere else on like drive through or something like that. So in any case, Exit 23, the name of it. This is the kind of banner I set up, and I only had 2 maps. Like if I put here, I have this map and the rest off map. That's kind of all we need to know, really. And I thought it went really well. I really enjoyed the pacing. I did. So if you look at the turn order here, I did initially have them roll their action, which is the equivalent of initiative, their action score, and kind of ran in order about what people wanted to do and people could pass, especially when something happened and they had to react. How I think that went well. I'm not sure. I started at the beginning and then I kind of lost track of doing it. in my mind. What do you think, Amy?
No, I thought you stuck to the turn order. I mean, after a while, we had characters in many different places. It got a little
Right,
hard, and so you kind of had to go where the action was.
right, right. But I
So,
wanted to keep the other characters involved, so I just put them in a turn order, even if they weren't like there in the action.
yeah, it was, I mean, we had a good time. I mean, I think the young lady that played Officer McDermott had a great time with it. The one playing Will Wheeler ended up playing with me in several games over
Yep.
the weekend.
Mm.
Um, Great guy. The one that played Dr. Neary, he just had a lot of fun with it. I mean, he must have really been craving French fries because he kept bringing that up in the game.
Right there. Yeah, there
Um,
was like a little diner joint attached to the rest stop, which is kind of funny.
mhm.
Yeah, I think
Doc,
it was good. It was a good dynamic with the players. I thought they worked really well together, not having played any games with each other before. And I thought it was, I've always wanted to run a modern horror conspiracy. So this is kind of a bucket list. And I really want to, again, I don't know if he even watches these, but I'm sure someone who watches them will tell him. I want to again thank Shay Webster for introducing me to this game or reintroducing me because I know I had heard about it back in 1999, but never got to play at least Dark Matter or Star Drive, though I think I might have dabbled in the alternative version of Gamma World. But thank you
mhm.
again, Shay Webster, for introducing me to the game. And any
And
other, yeah, go ahead.
and I think our listeners and viewers can leave us a comment down below if they'd like to see us do actual play of the game
Yeah, this
on
was an intro. Yeah, this was an intro, so it could
correct.
lead. It's supposed to lead to like you get recruited by this, clandestine agency to explore the weird stuff. And I thought a campaign that would be cool would be kind of look at old Weekly World News headlines and then use those as inspirations for adventures. And I'm sure I could track down um, like the front pages of those in some sort of archive somewhere. So it'd be kind of fun to do something similar to that. Or I mean, they do have published adventures that one could run through. There's like a few like one-off adventures, and then there's like a mini campaign type adventure too. But I really like the rule set. What did you think of the rules? I guess before we go.
I thought they were pretty easy to gather. I mean, you rolled your dice and you either hit your target number or you didn't. And it was pretty straightforward. Either you succeeded or you failed. But a lot of times, unlike other games we play where you have buffs for everything, this was just straightforward. Here's their character, here's what they can do.
Yeah, and I like that. I did play the fast play quick start rules, so there's more complex rules that you can add on in a modular way to this game, like multiple actions depending on your speed or your dex per round. But I think just, one move, one action was worked really well for this demo in a way, right?
Well, not just that, I felt like the speed of the game, it kept everyone's interest. So it wasn't, okay, I have to look up this skill or I have to look over here. I have to determine whether or not, or I should have picked that, or I didn't put enough points here. It's just you either succeeded or you failed.
Right, right. So yeah, it's a simple system. It's a D20 based, but kind of reverse D20 in that you want to roll as low as possible. It's like the Modifius 2D20, but you drop one of the 20s and then you rate the success as extraordinary, good, or sorry, amazing, good, ordinary, or a fail. So
Mhm.
I think it really works. And I really liked, if you look, there's three different wound tracks on these tokens. So there's like stun is in the what I put in green, wounds are what I put in blue, and then mortal is in red. And you can see that Dr. Akins and Donna got kind of jacked up a little bit. A few other people, it looks like Officer McDermott was still injured too, but a few people got injured, but not as much as the
Not
monster. Not as
not
much
not
as the
as
Winter
much.
Demon or the or trucker guy got knocked out. So
Right. I mean, Dr. Akins, all credit to him. He put his life on the line for science.
yes, he did. Or to stop the demon incursion, right? Dr.
I was
Neary,
trying not to, I
Dr.
was trying not to give away anything.
Yeah, I mean, this game has been around since 99. People can find this adventure. But I thought the person who played Nichols really not Nichols, not a fighter, really used a lot of innovation in their actions. Will Wheeler, good fighter, got to shine a couple times. Dr. Neary really shone by saving an NPC who should have died. McDermott got to do some cool stuff, both from like a role-playing intimidation standpoint, and combat. And Donna got to do Donna stuff, I think, right?
Donna was Donna.
Yeah, yeah. The sneaking around actually proved very useful, so I thought it was good.
Well,
It was good.
first she had to change outfits.
Yeah, of
Little
course.
inappropriate to be in a snowstorm in high heels and then the
The
dress she
the
had
dress
on.
she had on. Yeah, yeah. All right. Kind of like Anna de Armas in the latest Bond movie, right?
Something
So
like that. I
okay,
think I was the only one that made the costume change, and it's pretty funny that I think only two characters actually noticed it.
that's kind of funny. All right. Well, the next game we're going to talk about is the game that Amy played. So this is a character sheet from the game that Amy played because I don't have access, of course, to the any platform or VTT that the GM used, but Amy can talk about it. I guess it's called Project Psych.
Uh-huh. We actually didn't use a VTT. We utilized Zoom. So we were all just chatting with each other and we just played off of our sheets. It was a test um, of the game that she was creating.
Mhm.
Um, and she was really sweet. They are the owners of Kismet Games,
Right.
um,
Yeah,
Kismet Games.
yeah, we'll put the if we remember, we'll put the link in the show notes.
Yes, but the blurb she had was step into the shadows of Project Psyche, where psionics harness the essence of the dead to fuel potent abilities.
Wow. Okay.
In this fusion of espionage and occult, secretive psychic factions battle for dominance. Ghosts serve as weapons and warnings, but the dead are not silent. They linger, fascinated by the psychics who need them to thrive, and in return, they manipulate the living for their own needs. Well, own ends. Every decision blurs the boundaries of life and death, flesh and spirit, make choices between survival and power, while the dead never truly rest. And the game was based off of the Year Zero engine.
Oh,
So,
interesting. Okay. So
mhm.
years your engine. Do you want to explain it or do you want me to try to explain it? Well, I can see, I can just look at the character sheet and I can kind of tell because it's
It
got
is
that. Yeah.
right. I mean, the only thing that was different between these Year Zero engine and, for instance, Walking Dead, that's a Year Zero engine, is some of the names were changed. So if you scroll down to the resources, you'll see there was wealth, plasma, health, and resolve.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, and what happens is you had plasma, and your plasmas, if you scroll down further, you
So
can
your
see this,
plasm, is that your like your
your
plasm?
plasm. So if you scroll down,
Mm-hmm.
scroll to the second page, you'll see there are powers that you can use. So, in essence, like if I wanted to use Sense Beyond so that I could
Mm-hmm.
perceive the presence of forces associated with the disciplines, then I would go up and I would choose how many of those plasma points I wanted to put into there, and that would give me the extra dice.
Okay.
So if I was not using anything else, because you don't use any of your stats up at top. So let's say I wanted to roll my plasma and I wanted to do that, I could roll one die.
Okay.
And if I failed to make a success, then I could push it and then I would get a stress die to roll at
Mhm.
the same time as my regular dice. So this might be a good time for you to explain your zero engine.
Yeah. So, well, the year zero, the basic premise is you take up a pool of six-sided dice. Sixes are successes, and some of the incarnations of the year zero engine have stress dice. So this seems similar to like Alien, role-playing game, or Walking Dead, where you can push it and then you get a stress dice, and then if you get a six, that's another success on the stress dice, but a one is a bad thing.
Oh, yes. And the way she was working it is all of your beyond powers down there always succeed.
Hmm.
No matter what you roll, it always succeeds.
Okay.
But there could be consequences. So let's say I rolled a one and I needed whatever you're going rather fast scrolling up and down there.
Yeah, I'm just checking
Um,
it up, showing the people.
uh, let's say I needed a six to be exact on it, and I was rolling the two dice, and I needed two sixes to succeed, but I rolled a one and a four. Okay, well, the four was a partial success,
Hmm.
and the one was a bad thing triggered, and it would roll, it would spark a bad thing from me. So if you scroll back up to the top, it would trigger my psychic effect, which you'll see underneath the attributable attributes and skills. It'll say psychic event, and that is the touch of the grave,
I
plants
don't
wither, no,
I don't see
down.
that. Go down. Oh, there it is. Wild effect.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yep.
Touch of the grave, plants wither, food spoils, smell of rot, cloud of flies. And
Okay.
that it's meant to cause a bad thing to happen, but it doesn't affect the play. Like it doesn't cause extra damage to anything.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, we had one player that his spell didn't go off, and animals would react. If we were in a room, they would bang into the windows, or they
Oh,
would. We had squirrels running up our back, or things along that line. But it was a
okay.
lot of fun.
Yep.
So your health was different than your resolve, which is your resolve is not really like your stress
It's
because
like
you could have
stress,
no
willpower,
stress.
will.
Stress was more like around the willpower area. If
Hmm.
you lost all your resolve, you were out of the game. You just mentally couldn't handle it. So probably
Right.
more like willpower. But it was a lot of fun. We were we started off, and I don't want to say too much because it's an unpublished unpublished thing, but we started off our adventure. There was five of us, and we were basically tasked with investigating a psychic experiment. And if you see, one of my troubles is I had an experiment go wrong. So my whole trigger was I got to get it right. I got to, got to
Hmm.
get published. But the fun part is you start off and you pick an NPC anchor, but you also pick a PC anchor in the game, just like you would in the other roll zero. I can't even talk. Gear zero
Yeah.
engines. And in this game, when you utilize those two, it's mostly to gain some stress back, but they don't really have an effect otherwise, at least in what we were testing. Long term it would.
Okay.
But when she was setting up the game, she had us pick our own PC anchor, and then our NPC anchor didn't even have to be in the game
Hmm.
because it could be like a lifeline that you could call. And it was fun because I was playing a scientist. So I had three that I could choose from. It was either someone I went to school with, someone that worked for me, or a wealthy person that I would go to get money. So I figured I might as well just put the president down. He
Yeah.
had an interest in me and I was going to get money from him. So that was the game. She did a great job. Dee was wonderful as the GM. I thought she explained everything really well. We were laughing really hard. She had to speed some things up because we spent so much time investigating the different powers that we had, and we were having a lot of fun with it that we needed to stay on track. So
Hmm.
it was a great game. I really, really encourage people to go to their website. I know they don't have a lot of published materials out there, but they're working on it and it's a whole lot of fun.
Did you sign up for their mailing list? Because there's a free quick start later, or there might be, so they say. Anyway,
I
so Kismet Games is the brainchild of just reading is from the website. You guys can check it out. Of Wayne Peacock, together with his writing partner Dee McKinney, they crafted the world of Rustwater, which is the Kismet signature product. That's what's out now. And what is Rustwater? You might ask. Rustwater is on drive-through. It is a
Mhm.
weird fantasy in a cursed world. It does sound interesting. There is a quick start for it, which is nice. And there's pre-gens. Oh, I might have to do that. Okay. So that's cool. And then they do say that they have supplements for some stuff from Westwater, new heritage groups, several ready to play adventures, a
Mhm.
pocket game, and then the Psionic game, which is probably what you played.
Right. And I did talk to them, and they are willing to come on and do a question and answer session with us. So if you guys have questions about their games, please drop it in the comment section and we'll be able to ask them about it. And they are willing to come on and maybe run a couple of their games for us on the channel so everyone can see how much fun it is.
Well, cool. Well, that is Project Psych.
Hmm.
So I think now we will talk
That was
about,
my first game of the day.
yeah, well, my first game, you can see on the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. It was not part of BSer Con 4, so I scheduled around my important games of it was Warhammer Fantasy. So you could check that game out on the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. There probably will be a link in the show notes. Um, but all you got to do is put Dungeon Musings and you'll find it. All right. So the next game I ran,
Twilight 2000.
yes, Amy's very excited about it. What was that game again?
It came from the forest.
Yeah, for Twilight 2000. Here's a little banner.
Hmm.
I'll launch the game for you. Again, Roll20 Discord.
I'd like to point out I did not play a medic.
You did not play the medic. Someone
I did
really
not.
wanted to play the medic, which was great. Why is
I
this
let
not?
everybody pick first, and I took what was left, and I was left with the driver, Signy,
Mhm.
which, if you're familiar with our normal ongoing Twilight 2000 game, she's not exactly just a driver.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are the characters here that you
Hmm.
can see that were used. Again, it was a full game, which is pretty cool. We had a heavy weapons guy, driver. They had a vehicle. I set all
Hmm.
this stuff up. There is an officer. There was a, and so there was like three Swedes and
Three
and
Americans.
three Americans, an old hat, so like a so old staff sergeant, Marine Recon, Marine grunt, basically PFC, and then the corpsman donated from the Navy. Thank you, Navy. Uh,
She was the medic.
Hospitalman Morales. So
Hmm.
I thought it went really well. So I should look. Here's my banner. So the banner. So this is kind of a there's this product, and I cannot never pronounce the name of it. Project. It's a made by um so Trot 2000. This is the fourth edition of the game. It has a fan made product program. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but this is a and the cool thing about the Twilight 2000 adventures, they're not really linear adventures. They're more like scenario sites, kind of similar to what Free League does in general with games like Forbidden Lands and One Ring, where you really don't
Hmm.
have a event. There are published adventures, like for One Ring, for example, or books of published adventures, but generally speaking, they have like a scenario site book. And that's kind of what this project Vaso Voidi, whatever is. I don't know. If anyone can pronounce it, you can. I think I have a handout with it on here. Here it is. I'll pull up the missive here. You can see. Oops, let me go down. Here we go. Whatever this right here, Project Vaz Raz Vaz Raj Denia. Vaz Raj Denia, whatever, how we pronounce that. I'm gonna pronounce it like it's Spanish, so sorry.
It's
Definitely not Russian.
okay.
All right. Yeah, so this game here is more involved, and it does kind of show me, or not, I don't know if show me is the right word. Um, Gotta move this so I can access. No,
Well, I think it taught us that a game
sorry
for
about that.
Twilight,
Sorry about that.
it's okay.
All right, so you don't see my Amazon site. Apologies for that. Um, I was trying to do something here, and truth be told, like the Zoom controller gets in the way sometimes. But what I was trying to do is show you like the different maps. I used like a Winter 4 scene to set the scene for people. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if you thought if it was evocative or what. Um, then
It's
I
cute.
then I had the central Poland or central Poland, central Sweden, where the player character started about here, and it took a while for them to get going, and then they finally got to like the end destination. And that I guess brings me to the point of maybe what Amy was trying to say before I had to cut her off to fix that technical
Mhm.
difficulty. But it definitely seems that this game is not as conducive to a one shot.
Well, it could be, but I think we needed to have already put us where we needed to be because getting us there, we got sidetracked.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the adventure experience. And yeah, I could have put you right there. This is what happened before. This is what you got to do.
No, no, no,
Go,
no,
go, go.
not all the way to Sala, but like at the little village. Because it took us over an hour just to go from the forest down. I think we were only going, what, 2 kilometers? It
Yeah.
took an hour to get everybody there and do stuff because everyone wanted to investigate this and do that. So
Well,
if
I
we
threw a lot
just,
of stuff out at you, and I think running into that first encounter was very important. Right. So
Mhm.
yeah. So again, so this adventure site location, it's modular, so you can put different things together to get yourself a story, and it could be different stories, right? There's a general thing that's what's happening, and it's like, do the characters interact with it? This plot's going to happen anyway, and how do the characters get involved? I mean, I don't know if that's quantum ogreish, or it can never happen because actually there's two parts of it. The first part, which I didn't do, or it got mentioned unfortunately, and almost got the player sidetracked. But I think we had a good save. But there's like a whole part of it that's not so weird, but I wanted to do the horror aspect. But there's like a mundane aspect and that leads into the horror aspect, which could make for a really cool campaign in Sweden. But basically, like you could go. It's very conducive to a campaign play where you just hex crawl and you kind of eventually get to the plot of it if you ever do, because you might not. I mean, players can be driven and try to drive on to Stockholm here, right? So yeah. So then I had other than that, oh, I had another site, the town, and this was kind of in a way where the end game took place. The
Mhm.
characters find out where the end game took place. There's a brewery they never got to. See, they could have investigated all this fun stuff.
Well, we noticed the brewery and
They
we
did
all
notice.
went, and we did go drinking there afterwards.
Yes, much like the scene at the end of the first Avengers, they found a place to hang out in the ruin and rubble, and have a good time. All right,
Hmm.
and then the end game took place in here, and
In the bunker.
this map
Hmm.
here. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, it was fun to do. Right, so here are the players down here, and I just kind of narrated this at some point. I had other ideas I was going to do, and I won't share them because I might reuse this. So I'll go to the Winter Forest because that's a nice
Hmm.
peaceful scene. So, I mean, what do you think, Amy? What did you think of the game?
I thought the game was fun. I felt like because I've played the game before, and
Mhm.
several of the players have the game but haven't run it
Right.
or haven't played in it, and they wanted to. Keeping them on track because it's very easy in Twilight 2000 to get overwhelmed by everything and not.
Right, because it's a
I,
survivor game, right? At its core, it's a survivor game, and you really need to keep track of food, fuel, water, ammo, right? I mean, where you're
mhm,
going. Like there's a debate on, oh man, we got to get some fuel. We got to gather organic so it can make fuel for the still. We got to find a still. So it was that kind of happened in the game, and that's what I mean. That's why this game is great for like a mini campaign or campaign play where you just take your time, see what happens as you go through the hexes, and then you get to the meat of it. But for a one shot, I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion. I don't know if I'll do Twilight 2000 as a one shot again. So I don't. It's hard to judge. Although I do
well,
feel like they were good,
you have done Twilight 2000 as a one shot for the previous BSer Con
but
when
that
we
didn't
had
really work either.
Operation. Well, it did though. I mean, we started, we had a great time, we finished,
No, you
and
did
it.
not finish Red Star Lone Star. We got to a good,
No, 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 no,
satisfying.
no, 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 no. Operation Hot Potato.
Oh, Hot Potato did. Yeah, Hot Potato did. That was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Right. And then last year you did Red Star, Lone Star, and I thought we did finish. Thought we finished.
Not really. You got
We
to,
kind of had to speed it up at the end. Again, people got off track.
yeah, you can get
So,
sidetracked. Again, you can get sidetracked. Maybe that's my fault, but I want to, I want to make the world when we run it, I want to make it realistic. It doesn't, nothing is in sort of isolation, right? So even Hot Potato, you had a mission, but then it did, I think it had a very extremely satisfying ending, but there was definitely a little side track in that one, but it just was executed, or the dice went so that it was executed a little better, right? So
well,
so I thought,
it's a little more concrete. We were just going to one place, we had an
right.
operation, we were coming back. Here we had a map, we had clues,
Hmm.
we had to go to a village, we had to find other things.
Hmm.
And maybe if we just had this still to start off with and we were given a clue to go into the forest and then go down into the village more succinctly.
Yeah, it could be a better way to do it. And again, because this is like a sort of a site scenario type of campaign, right? I found some scenarios that I thought would give you the clues that you needed to get to the place where I wanted you to go. Um, so I mean, you did. It worked out. I thought, we maybe could have taken a little more time on some things, but I definitely feel like there are some great moments, like when the player who played Sergeant Pearson here, he um he realized he had a rocket launcher.
On his arm, yes. So
He has an
he
arm
had a lot
burst.
of fun.
He had an arm
Mm-hmm.
burst. Yep, I think Sergeant Reed got to snipe things, overwatching on the player characters. PFC Williams and suddenly uh, violent and vicious Corporal Signa got to sneak up and stabby stab some people. Morales did amazing. I thought Morales was great, picking all the clues and keeping the players on track about what was going on. Williams had some weird stuff occur because it seemed that he was the most susceptible to the visions that I threw at people. I guess that's what I wanted to do. That's why I kind of was slow at the beginning and wanted to have a build up and a mood. And I think it worked pretty well. I think people were creeped out by some things that they saw. So I think that worked out in the end.
Yes, I agree. I
I
mean,
think
we had a great time, and they were
Forsberg had a
still.
great. Forsberg was a player was a little quiet, but definitely was keeping track and keeping tabs of what was going on, and had a fantastic like finisher moment at the end where he took out the in a way he took out the big bad, right? So
Hmm.
I thought that was pretty cool. Great shot. Okay, it was good. I mean, overall, I guess I always criticize myself a lot. Overall, I think it was fun when it boils down to it. And
Oh yes.
I really hope the players had fun. I got some positive feedback, but BSer Con is really nice. Um, I so people at BSer Con are very nice. So I don't know if you would ever get negative feedback or criticism or comments. Maybe there were. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, everybody that played in the game that I played with afterwards or before,
Mhm.
they didn't say anything about that. They seemed on the forums afterwards to be pretty excited about it. A
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
of them were even talking about, oh, I have this game and I have the old one because I didn't know if I was going to get the kickstart in time and I really need to run it and now I understand.
yeah, yeah. That's good. Well, that's a good thing. Is like sometimes I mean, much like when I play a game with somebody that I've never played before, and then I run it sometime else because I play that game. So One Ring, for example, I'm very excited about One Ring because I played in it with Kevin, right? Alternity, I was very excited about to run it because I played with Shay. So same thing. I hope that we pass it on, right? That'd be really fun.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. The next game that we played, I will get to, and then we will announce it and I show the picture. So what do you want to tell us what the next game we played was, Amy?
Mausritter.
Right? And I played an excerpt from Tomb of a Thousand Doors. So Mausritter is a game using the Into the Odd engine. Very quick game, very old school feel type of game where you play mice in a world that's out to hurt them. for sure.
Big damn hero mice.
Yeah, Big Damn Hero Mice. They ended up being Big Damn Hero Mice. So I thought it was really fun to play. Again, Amy played. She played Minuena Whiskerton, but then
Hmm.
Ernest Grant. That name totally doesn't jive with the rest of them, which is kind of funny. And then we had Pepper, uh, Pepper
And
Winterholm, and then they
and
had an NPC, Tulip Needle Knifer. So this is pretty fun. Um,
mhm.
yeah, so I had this definitely some spoilers here, but some of the maps I used kind of this map. Oops, I used this page as sort of a you know going through the forest. There were no random encounters. You can see this. They missed the Mr. Owl here, which is nice because um, big birds and little mice do not get along. They missed an encounter with some random plague rats, so they made it through the fields, no problem. They took because they took off during the day, just FYI. And then this is exit from the Tomb of Many Doors. They went to the uh, plague rats hideout, which was neat. Again, these are some spoilers here from the Tomb of a Thousand Doors. But I mean, I didn't do my own thing in this case. I just found a cool encounter that would definitely work. And it is actually the encounter hook is from the Inn of a Hundred Doors, and you try to rescue some little mushlings here. I will show you what they look like. These guys here, which I thought was pretty fun. And I think, and like Amy said, the mice ended up being a big damn heroes. Oh yeah. Very extremely lucky, I would say. But that's the cool thing about these games to me is that you win sometimes because of the luck. I thought that was such a cool
Mhm.
outcome. We had three players in this game, like I said, so it's like 50% full. Some players had to drop out because of illness last second. It's a long day. I get it. It's a long day. Cold was all over the country. People lose their voice and the like, and so no big deal. But the players that played, I think, had a fun time.
Oh, we did. So we started off having the NPC mouse peek in the bottom floor,
Yeah, yeah.
but he saw a plague rat, so we creaked that door closed and decided we would go to the second floor instead.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the NPC peek in there again,
They,
but
and they saw some plague rat. They saw some plague rats closer this time.
saw some plague rats, but were able to get out of the way and weren't seen. But one of the characters was seen,
Yeah,
so he
attacked.
attacked, really injured one, ended up falling back, and then we jammed the door closed.
That was great. Yeah, I'm glad someone had spikes. That was awesome. Again, using your little resources, a la OSR game.
But while we were doing that, one of the other rats scurried up to the top to where the
Yep,
hayloft was and climbed in and encouraged us to go up there. So we all scurried up there and got inside to where the
yep,
library was.
was here.
Uh-huh. And so we were able to regroup, kind of get energized. The one rat was almost up to the, or mouse was almost up to the top
Yeah. What
of the
was
staircase.
Yeah, and then they actually I were able to because the whole plague rat nest was shaken, and then the plague rats were down on the bottom floors looking for the mice, and the mice went the wrong direction. So they're all looking around the bottom, looking into the around the forest to see if they had fled. We're going to get you, little mice, and eat you, or whatever plague rats do to little mice. But then they found the leader by himself, like up here in the library, and they took him down, which
Hmm.
is great. And then when this Ernest kept climbing to the top, and then that's when they confronted the leader of the big hideout,
The
and
crow.
that was where the luck was stupidly amazing. Um, the the library mouse cast a spell and basically stun locked the crow. And I think let me see, what's the chances of stun locking the crow? There's the crow. 3 and 20 squared. 3 and 20. I mean, so there is a whatever that is, whatever the percentage is of that. happening for 2 rounds is pretty incredible. Um,
Well, that's
and
because well, he hit it the first time, and then you were rolling to see how many rounds it would last,
yeah,
and you kept rolling a nat 20, failing.
yeah, failing. Yeah, I critically failed both rolls. And that was too much. I mean, that gave the player characters, that give Pepper, Minuetta, and Tulip enough time to get a couple good hits in, and Pepper making up for his almost disaster down here when he hit that plague rat and didn't quite take him down, was able to smash the crow, and then the rest had already started to flee because their plague rat leader had been killed. But then when some of them who had rallied came up to try to confront the players, they stuffed the
The
remains
crow.
of this crow in the stairwell, and then they lost it. They're like done. So it was good. It was a good little scenario.
Well, I
Um,
mean, the crow was big enough to carry all of our loot home, so
that's
we
right.
just
Did that.
strapped it to them.
Rescued the mushlings and these other creatures the plague rats had captured for their nefarious experiments, um, and got made their way home. The only hiccup was a vulture that smelled the carrion of the dead crow, but it's a good trade, I would say. Let us
We took
go,
some
and you,
feathers
yeah,
and different treasures and let him have the bird
yeah,
and
let us go, and you get the dead bird. Yeah.
and we got our treasures home using the one of the spells with the beetles.
Yep, yep, which was kind of neat. So that's all in all is a good game. Mausritter is such a fun game, and it definitely has that. Well, it's into the odds, so it has that sort of OSR feel. So it was good. It's a good time. So, any other comments about the Mausritter? I mean, I'd like to. I mean, I like the Tomb of a Thousand Doors, the neat mega dungeon. There's other supplements that I've found where there's, like
Well, we'll have to
the
play
Ritter
again
March.
because
Yeah,
we got a straw.
right.
Our mice got a straw so we can
Yeah, they got some
launch.
good rewards. They made it to third level, but there's like this Ritter March area. There's the Mayfield area as well, that they can explore around or go to the tomb itself. So, I mean, I think it's a neat setting and environment. And hey, if you're interested, if you think Mouse Ritter would be fun to see on the channel, let us know. We definitely can run it. I ran it initially. Did we put that on the YouTube, Jamie?
Yes,
Yeah. So
it's up there. All you have to do is go look for it. But we will definitely revisit it again.
yeah, we did a duel with Minuetta. But it'd be cool to visit it again. And I guess the
Mhm,
story would continue because they've defeated these plague rats. They have that windmill, and now they know a place and how to get to the Tomb of a Thousand Doors through the windmill, through the
mhm,
now abandoned windmill.
mhm. We
Right.
found that.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Finally, the last game,
Well, your fourth and final game, my
my fourth
fifth
and
and
final
final.
game. Yeah, Amy's fifth game. So
Not on
she,
the same day.
yeah, and that was, well, I'll just quickly go there as quick as I can. But exit the Mouse Ritter game. You go to my, you see, I have a lot of games, by the way.
Yes, a lot of games. It was Cohors Cthulhu,
Right.
which we've also played on the channel before. And ironically, the two characters that we played on the channel before are the two characters that ended up being picked in this game. And that was not set up that way. They could pick from anybody, and that's just who got picked.
Well, because Amy picked the character that she played before, which was Gerfred.
Gerfred.
And then the other player who'd never played before played Egino, or however you pronounce it. And I thought it went really well. What was neat is that this is my own idea and adventure. I did some random rolls in the adventure generator and came up with this, and I thought it was really cool. I thought it turned out really well. It definitely was an off the rails type of game, but that's the cool thing about Cohors Cthulhu is that it is another game like Twilight 2000 where the players can explore the world and explore what motivates them and follow follow, their truths, right? But that's kind of what you do. That's kind of how a lot of the game got generated. So I started in Lorium. A lot of interesting things happen where there is this sort of this beggar that had this prophecy and was brought there by some auxiliaries. Um, they had this guy who was an agent of the magistrate.
Wolfguard.
Uh, yeah, Wolfgar was
Mhm.
an agent of the magistrate that got the heroes involved by bringing him to the magistrate, and the magistrate said, I don't know what's going on. I want this prophecy found out about. I want to know the truth about it. But what it was cool, right? That what we found out, we don't have to. I might run this again at some point, so we don't know. Maybe we shouldn't spoil it, and we should just give
Don't
him.
spoil it.
We should give impressions, right? So
Yes.
I thought it went. I thought the setup was fine. Was fine. I did enjoy it. I thought there was a lot of opportunity for interaction, talking to the beggar, talking to the factor of the magistrate, talking to the magistrate too. That was a fantastic role playing by Gerfrid and Egino, I think, in that one. So, what did you think?
Oh, I agree. It was a lot of fun. Gerfrid as a whole, because you can set a truth
Right.
and a secret, and you pick your secret as the
Mhm.
game goes. So it's different every time you play because you choose a different one.
Right.
But for Gerfrid, her background is she doesn't trust the Romans, and her secret is she hates the Romans. So she
Mm.
was bound and determined to not necessarily do something that was going to benefit the Romans. So caused a little bit of conflict, but
Yeah. So I thought so. It was cool that there were. I mean, I think it was a convoluted plot, but it was more intrigue than anything else. I had like a German forest scene, but I'm not going to click it because that'll spoil things too.
yes.
I thought that went really well. And I think we brought it to a satisfying conclusion. We definitely, again, didn't explore everything that I had thought about for the adventure, but that was fine. It worked out what you guys did, and you kind of changed sort of the. I think that's a good thing about a game that centers on player character motivations. For example, the truths that they have is that the you can switch the rails, as it were, right? You can jump, you can
Mhm.
pull that lever and switch the direction of where the train is going, right? Because a lot of
Right.
adventures they can be railroady. They go in a certain direction. This is the plot that you think of, but hey, the characters might have different motivations, read things different way, and we're going this way. You know, I thought it was cool. A fun thing I did. Did this work? Did you, because I named all these guys, did you have a sense of like they're important?
Somewhat. I mean, we were more apt to protect them because they has names.
Yeah, like our Arvidius, Bjorn Wolfius, Gardolphus, Alarunanus, and Egonius. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to like kind of mesh Roman sounding names with like a Germanic base too. I thought that was fun because they're Batavian, right? They're an auxiliary. So it was kind of neat to do that. I thought it was fun. So
Yeah, I think everybody appreciated that.
and Sextus
And
Curtius Posthumus could end up being a cool adversary, a recurring adversary. So I thought that was neat. It was good. It was a really good conclusion.
mhm.
I had a lot of just like in Twilight 2000, I had a lot of handouts with this one too, as you can see on the side here. Um, Different people,
Well,
different things, and we didn't even get to everything, which is
I was
great.
going to say we didn't use all of them.
Yeah, and I have all these. I did, and just I only had. So this is like again a 50% game. So there's another person who did sign up, so it would have been 3 out of 4. I think a game like 2D20 because there's a lot of thought process and thinking about the meta currency and how you meta game the flow of the game is could be a little slow. So I thought 4 was better, whereas Mausritter or Alternity you could have a ton, right? And even Twilight 2000 because the mechanics once you get them are quick. If people are quick to make decisions, it goes fast, right? Quick to
Yes.
pick your role, it goes fast. So yeah, I think, but I definitely have a lot of other NPCs. It'd be fun to revisit this like almost like this duo here, this investigative duo of Gerfrid and Agino, right? It'd be kind of neat to see what they do again. Maybe it's worthwhile to replay this and run it on the YouTube. We'll see.
Well, the first time around, Gerfrid's secret is she thought Gino was a god. So that might or might not come into play in this. I don't know.
Or you can just
But
remove that truth and pick the new one. It doesn't. I
and
think you
do
could
a new
change.
one.
Yeah, you could change the truth. You're like, you're not that. You bleed. I saw you bleed.
No, my secret, yeah. Just change your secret each time you play.
Yeah, or maybe
And
something
that,
like that. I guess you could.
yeah,
It's fine.
but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
so definitely had a good time at BSer Con 4. Any last impressions of the con, Amy, or any other things that you can remember about the games that we played or
I think we covered them all. I mean, I had a great time.
Mhm.
Um, I know I signed up for your games and then I was really intrigued
Mhm.
by the one game and I was like, oh, it's year zero and I like playing Walking Dead and I know that system. I can handle that system. So I signed up for it, not knowing that it was well, I mean, if I had read further, I would have seen that it was a test play, but it was a lot
Right.
of fun.
Well,
And
great.
we stayed afterwards and we talked about the game, the changes we would make with it. And
Mhm.
again, I encourage people they also, Kismet Games, I believe, have a YouTube channel too. So we'll
Cool.
link them down below.
All right. Well, great. Well, thank you for joining me, Amy, for talking about BSerCon.
Thank you. And we just want to remind everybody, make sure your notifications are on so you don't not get the notifications for when we do some of the other test games or throw some of these up.
Yeah, and please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And actually, just tell a friend. If everyone were to tell a friend that they'd like and subscribe, well, I guess you double your subscriptions, right? So
Hmm.
that'd be great.
Be a lot of fun.
All
And we'll
right.
grow our family.
All right. Even better. All right.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you so much, Amy, for joining me.
Thank you. And
Good night and good rolling.
bye.
Bye.